And done. Welcome. Thank you guys for joining us for our One Team University series, Awakening Your Potential. We are so excited that you guys have joined us. This is our 9th series, I want to say. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but we have had some incredible leaders from all over Isagenix join us, and it has been such a beautiful experience to be a part of. I mean, we truly are one team. And thank you guys for showing up tonight, because this is our culture, this is our community and our family, and we're so grateful for you. We have a very special guest on tonight. Kathy Coover, one of the co-founders of Isagenix, has joined us. She is so gracious and such an incredible example of hard work, tenacity, grit, and passion. You know, she doesn't have to do these trainings, and yet she continues to show up because this is one of her dreams. And Kathy, I love, one of the first events I went to, you mentioned one of your personal goals of creating more 6- and 7-figure earning women than any other company in the world. And we're seeing it happen every day in Isagenix. And I applaud you for your vision, for your dreams. And I obviously am just so grateful for what you and this company has done for me. So please, guys, if you can show Kathy some love in the chat box. And I have some really good questions for Kathy tonight. Our training tonight is 2-part, and Kathy is going to be joining us for this first 30 minutes. We are so blessed and lucky. But Kathy, is it okay if I just share something really quick?
Sure, absolutely. Go for it.
Well, and I'm going to try not to get emotional here, but everybody knows me too well. I wrote you a letter at NYKO last year, and I didn't give it to you. And so I just want to share quickly. 5 years ago, when I was looking for solutions in my health and in my financial health, I was desperate for something to work. And I still remember to this day laying in bed on Pinterest, looking up work from home jobs, like options for moms, options for women that had little kids at home and that were exhausted and just needed to do something to help support their families. And it's really interesting the way, God has worked in my life. But in 2008, when everybody was suffering in the economy and I was in one of my darkest places of my life financially, I mean, we were in such a hole that my husband and I felt this just weight on our chest every night as we laid in bed sleeping. And we were in the process of losing our home because of work and the economy just falling apart. And at that same exact time, Kathy, you were standing in a room with your executive team saying, how can we pay our associates faster? How can we provide more freedom for our families? And that money, the millions of dollars that you put into the front end of our compensation plan, that is exactly what pulled me out of a dark place and has set my family free. So Kathy, just in front of everybody, I wanted to show you my appreciation and tell you how much we love you.
Oh, I know. That's why we do this. It's so great. It's so great to see your success, and you're such a great leader. So proud of you, and we're just getting started too. That's the best part. I just can't
getting started.
I know. We're just getting warmed up.
That's right. I keep telling everybody we are the Amazon of health and wellness. When somebody needs something, they're going to be coming to Isagenix, and that's really exciting to be a part of. So Kathy, can you share that a little bit as you start, answering some of these questions? As you started this, what was it, 16 years ago?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And you saw all this happening.
Well, I can tell you that, I love network marketing, and, I never gave up my dreams. I had a lot of things happen to me in this profession, but I really believe that prepared me for Isagenix. And, I've learned in life that if something doesn't go your way, that another door will open if you let the door open. So yeah, it's been such a gift to so many people. And I'll tell you, the opportunity is one of the biggest gifts we have. And just, what you just said right there, I mean, how many people are like that, Trish? I mean, it's frightening. I think it's really, unfortunately, going to get worse for us, especially the middle class, because they're estimating in the next 10 years that 375 million people will lose their jobs from automation worldwide. And so, people have to have options. They have to be looking for something else. And network marketing is the best vehicle because you work from your home. You can be with your kids. You can do this right along everything else. You can learn as you go. You don't have any special degrees. And what got me so passionate about it is when I really realized there was no ceiling on my income. I always had a ceiling on my income before. I had good income, but I just, when I saw that, I couldn't believe it, the low startup. And in this one lady I brought into my organization one time, I was living in Tahoe, so it was way long time ago. And she was actually a Miss America at one time in her career. And she came into my office and she looks, and I was making about $100,000 a month at that time with this other company. And she looked around my office and she just almost lost it. She just said, I can't believe this is where you work and you're making this kind of money. You have one assistant. You don't have all these employees, all this overhead, all this staff, all this drama. And when people realize it, it's unbelievable. That when you really get the heart of this, really, really get passionate about it. And what I love about it is you never know who's going to be your winner, who's going to be your superstar. It's probably someone you don't even think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
I talk about that all the time about not prejudging people. And I would love for you to talk about that a little bit. I mean, if people would have prejudged me 5 years ago, I wouldn't have done what I did, because looking at me, I mean, I was broke. I had to sell things around my house just to get started. I was 95 pounds overweight and exhausted. Like, who knew that what I had inside of me? And that's a big part of my message is women are absolutely incredible creatures. And we have so much potential in us, and we just have to untap that, or tap into that potential. So how do you help women do that? I mean, you are a visionary. You have to be to do what you've done. How do you help women see what they're capable of and pull that out of them?
Well, I think it's really casting the vision and believing in people. I think it's, a lot of women just, it's a lot of work to be a mom and take care of your kids. And, it really is. It's probably the most, it's one of the things you do that you don't get that much rewards for until they get older. Like when Eric, I get rewarded now. But you have to cast the vision, and you have to believe in people, and you have to show them the possibilities, and you have to have them dream. And, one thing that I use for men or women is really getting to know them and asking them the right questions. I always felt that the magic is in asking people the right questions. And, you never know what possibilities people have, what's underneath their skin. But it's, that's why I created the new associate checklist. And I really love it. And, it's you can create your own questions. It doesn't have to be those questions. Those questions work, but it's like I would ask you, Trish, simply, what are you doing for a living? And then you tell me, and I said, do you like your job? Because people love what they do. And it's really important to know, if they're happy with what they're doing. Mm-hmm. And, if you could paint your ideal life, Trish, what would it look like? Where would you live? Where would your kids go to school? Where would you be vacationing? What charities would you be giving to? What would you be doing with your life? And then you let them think. And, it's amazing that people go, oh, I've never thought about that. I don't dream anymore. And I said, yeah, but you have to have some kind of dreams. You pull it out of them. Mm-hmm. After you kind of pulled it out, and everything comes up. It's amazing what you find out about people if you just really listen to them and really care about them. Mm-hmm. And then the next question I would ask would be, if you had that ideal life, how much would it cost you every single month to live that ideal life? And, most people say like, well, $10,000 a month, or, and then that's where the light bulb goes on for a lot of people. They'll say, well, I love my job, but I'm never going to make it doing what I'm doing. So I have to build this asset. Mm-hmm. And, I think it's just getting to know them and see what their commitment level is. And sometimes when they start, they don't know their commitment level because they're not really in it.
Right.
Lenny Evans, you may not know him, but in the very beginning, he was the one, we did all the Isagenix universities together. He was just in LA. It was so great to see him. And, he always said this statement, and I think it's one of the best statements I've ever heard. He goes, it's not when you get into Isagenix, it's when Isagenix gets into you.
Yeah.
True. And then you get stronger and stronger, and you start putting the products, and you get more ambitious, and you see the possibilities, and it starts building and building. So we have to talk about the business. I mean, we really do, because if you were to go out and ask 20 people right now, what would be most important to you? To, do a nutritional cleansing program, or to make an extra $1,000 a month? And you know what you're going to get is most people say, oh, I want to make an extra $1,000 a month. It's just the way it is. People are struggling. So I think it's just getting to know people, finding out what they want, making them dream a little bit, and then really talking about the thing that I think that's important when you're connecting with people is to talk about that we have a system. Because, I was really good at recruiting people into my organization, and Jim did a lot of the follow-up, and he would interview them. He'd do the new associate checklist for me, and then he'd say to them, well, if you qualify, you'll be able to work with Kathy. So I just need to ask you a few questions, and that always kind of got him. But then he said, he would say, why did you join her team? And they would say, because she had a system. And that's what I would tell everybody as I was enrolling people. Look, I have a system you can plug right into. We have the movies, and we're introducing this new movie, I think tomorrow. It's coming out tomorrow. But anyway, it's just really, really showing them that you have a system, and I'll teach you the system. You need to plug in. This is the recruiting system. This is the product development system. This is the business development system. We have calls, we have training, we have support. And that's why they would join, because they knew they couldn't do it by themselves. So remember that when you're talking to new people and say, well, how am I going to learn how to do it? Well, we have a system that you can plug right into. And we do. We have the best trainers. Look at you guys. You're all on here. It's such a good support structure. Everybody works together. That's what I love about Isagenix.
Yes, me too. And I love that you talked about systems, because I've noticed as I've talked to people, they might dream, they might have that desire and ambition, but they still want to be held by the hand a little bit and shown the way. Like, everybody's a little bit scared to do something new. So how do you lead? I mean, how do you lead at the business? And I have a couple of different scenarios here. I'd love for you to talk about how do you share the business opportunity with someone who has networking experience and maybe someone who doesn't have a networking experience?
Okay, well, if they don't have networking experience, I think it's all in your conversation. Like when you start connecting with people and they say, well, what is Isagenix? What do you say? And it's basically we're empowering people physically and financially to change their life. What gets you excited, the physical part or the financial part? And then I just let them respond. So what gets you excited, the physical or the financial opportunity? And then it will tell me more. And then most people don't even know what network marketing is. And so you really need to be good at describing what network marketing is so people understand what it is without using the jargon. So when people say, well, what is network marketing? I always say, what we're doing is we are truly, network marketing is about building a network of people that buy and consume the best products in the world. Once again, network marketing is about building a network of people that buy and consume the products, and they refer other people, and this network keeps growing and growing and growing, and you earn commissions off of these people. And people refer people in, and they refer people in, and the network grows and grows, and that's your asset. That's what you're building. So I think that that keeps it real simple. They can understand that. It's like, it's like going to Whole Foods. You refer people in, there's more people coming in. People are all buying from the store. Can you imagine if you got referrals from all those people at Whole Foods that you referred into there? So it's good to keep it real, real simple. For the new person. And then the other thing too is people say, well, what is Isagenix? Again, other ideas are, well, we have solutions for weight loss, energy, performance, vitality, healthy aging, and wealth creation. Which one gets you excited? I always use the wealth at the end, and I emphasize it. And you'll be surprised. They usually pick two. They usually pick the wealth, and they usually pick one of the other categories. And then you let them decide. And then it's so comfortable that way. It's just easy. It's so easy that way. then, people will say, well, I want to learn more. If this is for me, I have to become a product of the product, and say, absolutely you do. Everybody eats, and that's the beautiful thing about Isagenix. So it's keeping it real simple, keeping it upbeat. And another thing too that I really wanted to share with you, because I see it all the time. I train a lot of new people, like the new executives coming in and the 2 stars. And as they come into the office or wherever I'm training them on Zoom, their biggest fear is really talking about the business. They're afraid of it. And you can't be afraid of it. You just need to really understand it. You need to know it back inside and out. You only need to know a few things. And you need to know how big the profession is. It accounted for $189 billion last year. It's big, big business. And the health and beauty dominate network marketing. And so you want to be in an industry that dominates. You don't want to be in a small little industry. You want to be in an industry that dominates. So it's important to know that. And say, did you know that some of the wealthiest people in the world own network marketing companies? Warren Buffett owns 2. So, it's important, and Robert Kiyosaki promotes it. It's important to use credibility. Because I think that some people have a misconception, and some people have never even heard of it. They don't even have any idea what it is. But they know other things. They know, like you were looking online for things to do at home. I mean, what people are doing now is they're driving, Lyft and Uber. I just talked to a guy that was going to go drive, Uber to make ends meet, because that's easy startup, easy to do. So, I think it's just making it relatable. And then another thing, too, that I wanted to share with you that I think is an issue for a lot of people, and I can tell you how to solve it. And that is, let's say, maybe you people online have been with us 2-3 months, maybe 6 months, maybe 2 years. And maybe some of you are cycling 1 time, maybe 10 times, maybe 5 times. Whatever it is, it's all money. It's all really important. But I think that what's important to understand is when people say, well, how are you doing? How are you doing with this? They don't feel comfortable talking about it because they're not making that. Like, you're confident because you're making a lot of money. And once you get that posture, it becomes, once you get up to that big income. But you just say you're working with a team of people that are committed to helping people retire in 5 to 10 years, or 3 to 5 years, whatever you want to say. Or you're working with a team of people that's helping people get out of debt. And there's a whole group, and they're just doing so great. I'm just getting started in it, but I'm going to connect you in with this team. So, it's not just about you, it's about the team. And for me, that was amazing. When I was building, all my team members would use my story. I'm working with this lady, and she's showing us how to retire in 3 to 5 years. Or I'm working with this lady, and she's helping us get out of debt and create a great income for our family. So we don't have to go send our kids to daycare. Whatever it is that relates to that person, if they're older, to helping people retire and have an income after retirement, you just got to relate to that person. Like if you say, you're talking about $1 million earners and all that, people can't even fathom that. They can't fathom that. So you just want to say, look, we're helping people, get out of debt. They can fathom that. They could love that, to get out of debt. So I think it's really relating to that person and making them feel comfortable. And then I'm sure you guys have calls and you're introducing people to Isagenix. So, just use the team.
Yeah, I love, when I first started, I can still remember like sitting in my little home, where I started 5 years ago, and kneeling on the floor in front of my kids, easel with, a dry erase marker. And I was just going, guys, this is amazing. Like, my friend Tracy's making $9,000 a month, and I'm going to do it too. And, we were borrowing each other's stories because I had no idea what I was doing. And that is what's so beautiful, is we need to borrow each other's stories. And I don't think we do it near enough.
That's exactly right. You can just tell stories of all of the people. And so I'm following in their footsteps. I'm doing exactly what they're doing because I'm following their system. Now, if someone in network marketing, it's a whole different story. People understand network marketing, so you have to know why Isagenix is the best. And you have to really build up Isagenix, because there's a lot of companies out there. There's a lot of network marketing companies out there. There's 2,000 that usually start up every single year. And at the end of the year, Out of those 2,000, there's about 200 left. So, but that's like any business. So they're all the, but you want to be with a company that's solid, that's rock solid, that's financially stable, and that loves network marketing. And so you need to really share the story, that we have experience in network marketing. The owners, have built organizations, have experience in it. And it's a legacy company. It's something that's built to last. I mean, that's really important. There's not too many companies out there that have that. Most have an exit strategy to sell out and walk away. I can tell you so many that have, so you can really, that's really a strong point for someone in network marketing. And then the products. I mean, our products are visual, they're emotional. People can't stop talking about it. They get immediate results. We get results like no one else has. No one gets the results like Isagenix on the products and the business. And so you really need to reinforce the consumability of the products. We're not just a little one company, one product wonder. They never work. You look at them all, they're all gone. It's easy to start up. It's easy. They usually build real fast. They go straight up and straight down because, you've got to have more diversity. So that's why we have 100 products. The company has started with 4. Now they have 100. They're investing all the time in the company. They just invested. We invested so much money in the infrastructure, and we're investing more, just another $12 million in the infrastructure of your back office. They're always putting money back in. And then talk about our compensation plan. Our compensation plan is the best compensation plan, bar none. And you can say they added $47 million to the promotional money, so you get pays you fast, because that back end takes time to build money. And what's so great about what Isagenix did is they added all this money, so you make money as you go, and then the back end builds, and you got this solid foundation. It's brilliant. And then if they're really a big player, you need to get them on with somebody that's really good at network marketing and builds that confidence, and get them into our office if they're big people. But there's more and more looking at Isagenix. I mean, people are sick and tired of these startups that crash and burn. Mm-hmm. And they're not based on the right values.
Right. And guys, we talk all the time about, what you have to do here, the work that this takes. And we're going to talk more after Kathy gets off about that, because it's so important to understand that not every story is typical. But I just want to, add a testimony to what Kathy's saying right now, and that's why when I shared about the money they added in 2008 to the front end of compensation plan, like, you have to understand, my first year in Isagenix, my husband and I were able to earn about $130,000 our first year as brand network marketers in Isagenix. And that was mostly from bonuses, the front end of the compensation plan. And we doubled that income our second year, and it was almost all residual. I mean, that's incredible, Kathy. Like, I can't wrap my head around it sometimes. I mean, it's just such a blessing. Like, that this company doesn't make you work for years and years and years to get the money. Like, you can start immediately, and you can get paid daily. Like, daily. If somebody needs something right now, this is a solution for them today. Not in a month, but even today.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, and, Trisha, what does it take to go to the top or to get where you want to? And it just takes a burning desire. You just have to have it. You want to do it. And you have to have your why so big that nothing's going to stop you. And you need to probably think about that tonight. What is your why? Why are you doing this? What excites you right now? It doesn't make, what excites me 16 years ago is different than what excites me now. So it's like, what excites you right now? What's going to get you up in the morning, get you out talking to people and connecting with people and doing that? And, that's what you need to know. And you need to keep it in front of you and do it with 120%, commitment. It's all about attitude, belief, and commitment. It really is. To be successful, you just got to keep going and going. If I'd given up after the 3 companies failed me, we wouldn't have Isagenix. I never gave up. And you just can never give up. You're one person away from being successful. It's the truth, isn't it?
Yeah, yes, it is. So, Kathy, I love that. It's still going to work. It's like Lynn Hagedorn talked about, that $1 million under a rock in your front yard. You just got to keep flipping rocks, until you find that.
That's right. So
Kathy,
true.
We're seeing today the vision that you had, 16 plus years ago. Can I just put you on the spot and ask you, where do you see us in another 10, 15, 20 years? Like, what is your vision, girl?
Well, I'm just thinking out 5 years, in that's 10 years. Yeah, I'll be 77. Can you believe that?
No, you look incredible.
76 in 10 years. I was thinking that as my niece is turning 40, when she turns 50, I'll be 76. But, I feel phenomenal. I feel better than I did when I was 30. So, but, I see us doubling the size of this company, and, for us, it's not really about the money. It's about how many lives we're going to change. And so, we want to impact more and more people's lives. You just don't know what an amazing, you get it from your team. I walk into a room in LA this weekend and there's 500 people there, and people are coming up and just so grateful for Isagenix. People for their health, for the income. It is such an amazing thing what's been created by, all of you, everyone creating this amazing company. We are changing people's lives. And we just our goal for next year is to have 1 million lives changed because of our product and business. And I think it's a very doable goal, and that will equate to a lot of income, And I don't always like to talk about the money because it's for us, it's the lives that we change. But we just want to we want to double the size of this company. I really believe that if we turn our 15% business builders into 30%, we're going to double the size of the company because they enroll people, they get excited. Can you imagine having another 15%? It'll be huge. So we all got to make it happen.
Yes, and we're with you, Kathy. We tied our hearts and everything into this, and we're so grateful for this vision that we're all a part of. I know Kathy's got to get off here, guys, and it's been so good just hearing from her. Does anybody have just a burning question they really want to ask her before she gets off? You're going to have to speak up fast.
Well, I have one for you. I want you to, I have a request. I want you to let Trish know how committed you are. I want you to send her a text when you get off the call. Make a little note because I know there's going to be a lot more on the call, and let her know where you're going to be by the end of the year. And then what your goal is for the next year. It's good to work in like 30-day, 90-day sprints, but where are you going to be at the end of the year? And you want to close this year out strong, because if you do, what will happen is set you up for an amazing, amazing January. And we do have one of the biggest promotions we've ever launched in history, and every one of you can qualify. Yeah, and so when we put the challenge out with 15 enrollments, that's going to count as a big chunk of the promotion, but it's going to be something doable. And our goal is to double the size of the people that win. So anything's possible. I was one more thing I want to share with you too, though. I was just on a call with New Zealand, and this couple, they were on the leadership call. Adam and Bianca. I don't know if you had the chance to listen, but oh my gosh, Trish. It was so incredible. I was so inspired with them. I think they're both about 30. And they made a decision that they wanted to double the size of their income. They're 5 stars now. They wanted to max out. So they have gone on from city to city to city in New Zealand, 22 cities. And I didn't know there was 22 cities in New Zealand. It's so small. There's only 4 million people that live there. And they went on and they started, with 3 to 5 people, and then start building and building and building. And it's just amazing what they have done. It's just their business is doubling. They're getting the energy going. They're doing presentations, but their presentation, I'm trying to get it through legal so I can post it. But what it was is when they talked about the products, they just had before and after pictures. They just put all these before and after pictures up there. Then what they did is they talked about the economy, where the world is going, and everybody needs to build a business and create an income. And, she said it took them 45 minutes. Everybody's excited. They socialize after. Then they send them a tool. They send them a tool to show them how to get the products paid for, and they do that for training on Zoom. But the one thing that they did at the meeting that I thought was very unique and very smart, and I'm telling everybody, in home, they have everybody get their phones out and download the IsaLife app right there. So that's how they're going to get enrolled. You know, they're going to roll right then and do all that. So I thought that was novel to get them in the system that way. So the proper people are going to send them their application. I'm not sure how they do it. I got to get more details on it, but they're dynamic. And remember the little Gabby on my panel? She
Yes,
just
it was amazing.
She just rank advanced again. She went 7-star. She was with them.
That's amazing. Yeah, Nicole Hammondtree was just talking about her. So we're excited for her. And she is such an incredible girl.
She is something, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. I mean, talk about passion and just determination for this goal, this dream that she has. It's so beautiful to watch.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your leadership, Trish. You're amazing. Let Trish know where you want to be, and we'll make sure you get your ticket New Year's kickoff, because I don't know if we were trying to sell out today. I don't know if we did it, but I'm sure we got close. So
I'm sure I know we're really close, and that's what we're going to be talking about. So
good.
Thank you so much, Kathy.
Okay. Have a great rest of your meeting. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye. All right, guys. Wasn't that incredible? I want to hear in the text thread just your thoughts, your feelings, things that came up. I know some of you are probably asking, how do you learn the industry? You know, what are some places you can go to really understand those things so that you have a stronger posture? Well, Isagenix Events is really where you do that. And there's incredible books. If you plug into Isagenix Business, you can ask, you know, just what are your favorite books on network marketing? What are your favorite podcasts? I mean, there's so many great resources. And from day one, I really did just dive into that because I wanted to understand the industry. And I didn't realize at the time, like, how much that was strengthening my posture, but it was. You know, I went to a couple of UIA events with David Wood. All those things helped. So I have some things that I really want to talk about for just a few minutes, and I know that they're going to help you. So I hope you still have your notebooks out, because I'm going to give you some very tangible things that you can do that I know will help you grow your business and increase your momentum. First and foremost, guys, I want to ask a few questions. I'm going to need your participation. So you can either yell out answers, you can unmute yourself and yell them out, or just answer in the chat boxes. But as far as the industry goes, how much, let's just talk about other companies or other industries in our economy. How much is a typical startup company? And some of you are going to know these answers right away because you've either already started your own business before, or you've been to events and you've gone through some training. All right, I'm looking at $500,000. Yes, very, very average for a startup company. All right. What comes with a startup company? Like, what do you have to do when you're running your own business? What kind of responsibilities do you have on your shoulders in a typical business? We're talking like brick and mortar business, mom and pop business. You do everything, right? All right. It's terrible. Amanda looks like she had a little bit of experience with that. So you have the responsibility of everybody, right? Your employees, your everything, payroll, insurance, just liabilities, like everything. Now let's talk about other industries, like income-wise. So how much does, I know every state is different, but like a typical teacher, like on average, how much does a teacher make? Maybe we have some teachers here on the call. What is the average income of our beautiful teachers that deserve so much from us? $35,000 a year. All right, how about doctors? What is the average income for our doctors? And if you want, you can start talking about what are the liabilities of being a doctor? What are the stresses that come with being a doctor, right? $250,000. Okay, good. Nicole's done this before. I'm glad you're on the call, Nicole. And then what other sacrifices do these industries require? I mean, how much time does a doctor have to go to school? How many years are they in school? You guys, Nicole, you're cracking me up. Like, I barely finished the sentence and she's already answering the question. All right. And then they have to go through intern hours. And what does that sacrifice look like on their health, on their stress, on their relationships, their friends and family? I mean, if you really look at this, guys, we should show so much more love and gratitude and respect for so many of these industries, doctors, lawyers, teachers, servicemen, police officers, firefighters. I mean, they go through so much to earn a spot in their professions, and it really takes a lot out of them, a lot of sacrifices. And I'm asking these questions because you really do need to start understanding network marketing. I mean, in this industry, like where else can you start a income, like a future where there's no ceiling, no cap on your income, and you literally start with the amount of money you decide to invest in your food, in your health? I mean, let me know right now, how much did you guys start with Isagenix? The people that are on this call right now, like how much did you invest in your startup with Isagenix? For me, I started the value pack. So I started with around $600, right? I sold my refrigerator to get started, for those that know my story, right? Best investment of my life, guys, right? And only in this industry, I mean, you get to use your overhead. Now, that's not the case with every company. That is very special with Isagenix. I mean, we're literally eating our overhead. We're eating our investment every month to get sexier. So not only are we getting healthier, looking better every day, having more energy, becoming a happier mom, dad, woman, man, but we're also increasing our bank accounts at the same time. I mean, come on, guys. Like, where else? And I share this simply because we need to learn to respect this industry a little more, because it's a gift. And sometimes when something seems too simple, we take it for granted. And then if it doesn't work out like tomorrow, we turn our backs on it, or we say it didn't work. And, you know, I'll never forget some of the events that I went with David Wood, because he talked about that. He's like, where else? Like, can you imagine a doctor doing this? You know, you put in years and years and years of your life, and then your first patient has a bad experience, and you just like, oh, well, that didn't work, you know, and you walk away. No, but in this industry, so many times, you know, we get started, we love the products, we go talk to mom and dad, they say no, and we're like, well, this isn't going to work, you know, and we quit. And so we really need to think about, what kind of sacrifice am I willing to make this work? Because I know this industry works. I know that Isagenix is special. It is a really special company with not just an incredible compensation plan, which truly is amazing, but it also comes with incredible products that have been life-changing for hundreds of thousands of people. All you have to do is go to one celebration event and walk as the 100-pound club crosses the stage, or as the IsaBody Challenge finalists and winners cross the stage, to know that you are a part of something so special. Like, fundamentally at our core, it is a special company. But then you get the culture. I mean, I'm just going to talk about this for a minute because it's my favorite stories. But one of my very first events, I went to a Chicago event, an ICU in Chicago at the East Coast. And I walked into the event. It was an ICU. And there was another company, I won't mention any names, there was another company there, and I saw their little like sign in front of the door, and I walked by, and there was all these people. They looked really angry and sad and depressed, and they were sitting in their chairs, and it was really quiet, and they were listening to this meeting. And it was another company in our industry that you guys know. It's a very well-known company, and they were having their meeting, and I was like, oh, this is going to be a fun weekend. And then I see the Isagenix signs, and I keep walking, and then I start hearing like music, like thumping, and I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? And then I walk through a tunnel of high fives, and I walk in the room, and there's old ladies like on their chairs dancing, and I'm like, oh yeah, like this is right. Like, this is where I belong. Like, anybody else have a good experience with their first event? A little bit of a shell shock as you are introduced to the energy and atmosphere. It is because we are so excited about life. Like, we get it. We are dreaming again. We're adults that are dreaming, and so many adults stop dreaming, and it's killing our culture. It's killing our society, that we're just in this, not just a rat race, guys. I don't believe most people are in a rat race. I believe most people are in this monotonous, zombie-ish kind of life where they're just like walking around asleep. And that is what's killing our culture. You know, like, all you have to do is go to a Walmart, guys, and walk around a Walmart for 2 seconds to go, wow, like, we're not doing so great as a society. Like, people are unhappy, exhausted, and stressed out of their minds. And we have an opportunity to change that. So one of the first things that I need you to really start doing, and I don't care where you are, whether you're brand new in Isagenix or you've been here for a long, long time, you need to get very, very visible in the world. Like, you have got to start sharing your story from the rooftops without any embarrassment, without holding anything back. Like, when I say be authentically you, I mean be you. And if that's in a quiet, calm, beautiful way, then do that. If it's in a loud, crazy, boisterous way, then do that. Like, just be you authentically, but be visible. Be visible wherever you need to be. Social media, at the stores, at church, at your kids' sports games, at the schools, your community. Like, get really, really visible. There are so many ways to meet people in this world, and it's not all going to be the same for all of us. There was a really great training at one of our events about social media and joining groups. So what happened? We came home and everybody started flooding social media and like joining every group they could possibly join. That doesn't necessarily work. Like, that'll work for like a flash, but then it goes away. But you being authentically you and being really visible in life, that's never going to get old. And that's something you have to do every day of your life until the day you die, is be visible. So let's talk about really quick a few ways to do this, because I'm getting really passionate about networking and what it means to be a real networker. All right. This year I joined a BNI group. And for those of you who don't know what a BNI group is, it's just Business Networking International. And there's lots of different formats for this. There's networking groups. There's Chamber of Commerce. There's lots of different ways where you can start networking with other businesses. I mean, even through social media, you can join LinkedIn and really network with other businesses and professionals, right? But the reason why I'm sharing this, guys, is because this experience has really taught me how to be a networker, right? Kathy talked about how we're growing a network with product consumers and businesses, and we're growing this network, this virtual franchise of product users, right? Well, we also have to build networks in other areas of our lives. And when you really grasp this concept, you're going to start funneling in referrals, and you're going to start building relationships in so many beautiful ways. So let me give you an example. Every person you meet has the potential to bring around 250 people into your life. Wrap your head around that. Every person you meet and do business with and build a relationship with has the opportunity to bring in 250 people into your life. All right, you can start doing the math, right? If you're really good at math, you can start doing the math and working out those figures about what it would mean if you met 10 new people, 20 new people, 100 new people. All right, because every time we network with somebody, what's happening is we're bringing our lives together. These circles are interlocking. And as we interlock these circles all over the place, our network is expanding and growing and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And so being really visible and learning how to connect with lots of different people is really important. Jimmy Smith is one of the most respected men in Isagenix and is very respected throughout the entire industry. And he does things old school, right? And his techniques work. They work really well. When I talk to the men and women that really built Isagenix from the ground up, they all tell me the same thing. If I ask them, give me one tip, like what is your golden nugget? They're all going to tell me the same thing. Look for referrals. Ask for referrals. And what they're really saying is network. They're saying meet somebody and network with them. Build a relationship with them and see how you can help each other. All right? So let's talk about this. Let's say you go into a doctor's office or a chiropractor's or a physical therapist, a massage therapist. These are all great people to network together with because you can help each other. It's non-compete, right? As they have clients come in that feel horrible. We know that most people go to chiropractors because they're overweight. They have so much pain in their joints or they're athletes. Like, there's lots of reasons why to go, but they're all for health reasons. And what they all have in common is this need for better nutrition, cleansing, supplements, right? Like, that is something that every chiropractor will admit their clients would benefit from. And so when you can go into a chiropractor and say, listen, I want to refer you to all of my friends and family. I have a huge network that I've worked for years on. And every time I meet somebody that needs chiropractic, you are so incredible. I want to send them to you. And I would like to create a referral relationship where we can really help each other out. So if they're interested, in Isagenix, great. Enroll them. And now they have another residual income happening, which they'll love. A lot of them will do that. But if they're not necessarily interested themselves, they could become one of your greatest referral partners where they're constantly sharing referrals with you. And here's the key to this. And I'm sharing, an example, just one example with a chiropractor or a physical therapist, but this could be with anybody, guys, teachers, bus drivers, UPS guys, like it could be anybody, right? You go first is my key to you. You go first. You give them business without ever asking for anything from them. The more that you give to the world, the more you're going to receive. And I truly, truly believe that. And I've seen it and I've experienced it in my life so many times. We just have to go first. We have to be willing to give and to share. I work with a lot of network marketers. And in this industry, that's kind of like a no-no, right? I mean, I'm sure many of you have had experiences with another network marketer and they hear you're an Isagenix and they're like, immediately the gloves come up, right? Like, oh, we're competitors. I laugh at that. And I just simply say, listen, I love collaborating with network marketers. Like, I know that we can help each other, and the better you look, the better I look. And that's important in this industry, that we really lift the entire industry up. And so I'm not scared. I'm not worried about them stealing clients from me. I'm not like hoarding what I have, because the universe is beautiful and will continue to be blessed if we just give and have this beautiful energy and idea of just give and give and give and give, right? When you do that, great things are going to happen. So start collaborating with network marketers. They have incredible networks, and who knows where they'll be in a year, in 2 years, in 3 years. Like Kathy said, most companies fail their first year or in their first 3 years. So be the friend, be the support. You never know what that will lead to. All right. If anything else, you could be great referrals for each other. We're really blessed that we're in an industry where there's not too many of us. Like we're the best. Like we know that we have the best products in the world. But when I'm referring, my friend who does jewelry, when I'm giving her referrals and she's giving me referrals for people that need health and wellness, like, come on, that's beautiful. That's a good thing. All right. So don't be afraid of that. And don't be afraid to ask for referrals. So going back, guys, I'm a little bit all over the place, but going back, the first part of this is visibility. Okay. Networking, getting to know a lot of people, really reaching out and seeing who do you know. And Kathy talked about this a little bit. She talked about her new associate checklist. One of the questions she asked on there that, again, I didn't really understand in the beginning was, what are your networks? She asks every single person that enrolls with her or that qualifies to work with her, what are your networks? What groups are you a part of? Are you in a church group? Are you in a reading club? Are you in Chamber of Commerce? Like, she asked those questions so that they can start seeing the networks they're a part of. Are you in a dog group? Are you in a whatever? Like, just think about the networks, because we're talking about being highly visible. And this is where most people screw up when it comes to visibility. And I want to see some feedback, guys. Give me some, like, this is not a quiet meeting. Raise your hands if you're ever in this group or this category. You want to look so perfect that you put off posting. It has to be just right, so you never quite do that Facebook Live. Heather's like swinging her arms around. I see you, girl. All right, Pauline shaking her head yes, right? So two of my dearest friends in the whole world that I love, love, love so much, I met at an event. We spent a long time in Australia together. They came and visited me here in Arizona. Shez and Kels are part of an incredible group called She Can and Isagenix. And they said to us just a few weeks ago, the message is in the messy. And I love how they shared that, because so many of us are holding off because we want to look perfect when that is not possible. And it's not believable. It's not relatable, and nobody can duplicate perfection. So stop trying to be so perfect. Just share your message. Just get it out there. Be visible. one woman that I respect so much in our company is Lindsay Wynia. She is an incredible leader, and she is rising so fast in Isagenix. And you know, one of the things that I love about Lindsay is that she gets it. She knows that being visible is important and that she doesn't always have to look perfect. Like, I die laughing. Like, I send her text messages when I see, like, I won't even share, but like when funny things happen in her videos, like I die laughing inside because I'm like, oh my gosh, girl. And she doesn't care. She loves it because she gets it. You've got to get out there. You've got to share what you're doing. You've got to be visible because they're going to go somewhere, and they're not going to go to you if they think your store is closed. They're not going to go to you if the lights are out, and they're going, does she do that? Does she not do that? They're going to go to the person they know is in the game. If their lights are on, the speakers are blaring, they got the little crazy air guy flopping his hands in the air, there's balloons up in the sky, like they're going to go to that person. So be that person, get highly visible. And then the second part, guys, is uber important, like so important. And it's called credibility. And Kathy mentioned it. And credibility can only be built in a few ways. Time is the biggest one. Consistency. They say consistency is key. Well, it's because consistency creates credibility. If your store lights are on one day and off the next month, people aren't finding credit, like they're not believing in you. Even if you're still using the products, they don't quite believe it. They're just not sure. And credibility is so important. So consistency truly is key. You got to keep showing up. And there are some great ways to create credibility. I'm going to share a few examples. Nicole Hammontree actually helped me out with one of them that I've been using, and I love working with my sideline partners, guys. Most of the people that I train with and work with are not financially linked to me. We just work together, and you all have that same exact ability. Not one of us has something that you don't have, the ability to create relationships and work with your sideline. But Nicole talked to me about doing live videos and interviews with her team and other people in Isagenix. And I started doing that. And what is that doing? It's building credibility, because my people are seeing me on Facebook. They're seeing these beautiful stories. They're hearing these inspiring, transformations, while that person's team is also hearing it. Because when you do a live together, everybody from both parties is seeing, all your followers. And so that's creating credibility. Every time you celebrate one of your teammates on Facebook, you are building credibility, not just in yourself, but in your teammate. Every time you do that. So we all have the ability to not only help ourselves, but to build up others around us. And yet I look at a lot of leaders and recognize that they're never celebrating their teams. They're not celebrating those 5 pounds lost. They're not celebrating that first cycle ever made, or that 5-cycle bonus, or becoming a consultant, or even just becoming a pirate, enrolling one person. We're just not celebrating enough, and it's going to hurt you guys, because our teams thrive on being celebrated, and they love to be loved. They want to feel loved. They want to be seen, right? And while you're doing that and you're celebrating and loving them, you're also building credibility. All right. So important. And I would love to hear from you guys, just in the chat box. What are other ways that you can personally build credibility? Credibility is built in how you show up. Do you always show up late to things, or are you early? Do you show up and just kind of sit on the sideline or the back of the room, just watching what's going on? Or do you show up and just start helping? I don't even care if you're a guest to a launch party. Do you show up and start helping set up the room? And what can I do? And, are you, who are you when you show up? There's lots and lots of ways. So I'm just curious. I want to hear from you guys. What are some ways that you've built credibility in yourself? But time and consistency is the key in this industry. And again, going back to what we talked about respect in the industry, this is important, because you cannot expect to be in Isagenix for a year or 2 or 3 and have all of your dreams come true without a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication. And sometimes you're going to see somebody rocket in a year or 2 or 3, but most of the time, guys, it takes a lot of effort, a lot of sacrifice, and a lot of hard work, and it's beautiful work. Like Kathy said, it's not all about the money. but every dollar we make represents lives being changed. And that is something to be proud of, that you can be a part of. And then here's the best part, guys. Once you get through credibility, that's when profitability happens. And that is a beautiful thing. You know, we have a girl in Isagenix, Bethany Krause. She's a friend of mine, another sideline partner. And she is one of the top recruiters in Isagenix. And she is a top recruiter constantly, like I'm talking like every month. And she's been in the company for over 7 years. And that's an incredible feat, guys. And it's because she gets it. She's highly visible, very, very highly visible. She's a part of a lot of different networking groups, constantly meeting new people, building relationships. And because of that, guys, and because she's been doing that year after year, month after month, week after week, and day after day, she has constant profitability where her funnel, that funnel of people, is just constantly dripping out enrollments. And that's where we're all headed. In fact, that is the goal, is to do these 3 steps in the correct order. You know, so many people want profitability, but they haven't quite earned the credibility yet, and they're definitely not being visible enough. All right, are you guys hearing me? Are we good here? Okay, we're making some goals for ourselves. Awesome. Okay, well, Travis Garza, we're gonna end here in just a minute, but Travis Garza did a live video earlier, and I love one of the first things he said. You know, the video title was, what are some reasons why people fail at network marketing? And the first thing he said was they're not humble enough. And I thought about that, and I was really impressed that he went straight to the core of the problem. Humility is huge. Humility is when you show up like you guys did, like tonight. You showed up. You could be anywhere on a Thursday night. I'm sure you have kids, you have favorite TV shows, you have family, friends, things to do, and yet you're here with me tonight. And that means the world to me, not because you're here with me, but because it shows me that you're humble and wanting to learn and grow. And that's why I go to so many events. That's why I attend so many calls, and I read so many books, because I want to learn. And if you can instill in yourself this desire to learn and the ability to be humble, so that you can change. All right? Like, raise your hand, like, be honest, like, raise your hand if sometimes it's hard for you to change. Raise your hand if it's hard for you sometimes to do things differently. You know, I know that I can be caught in that pride cycle where I don't really want to change, or I think my way is right. And humility truly is the key to so much growth in our life, because when we recognize we don't know it all, that's when we're open to the blessings and to wisdom and knowledge. And we need that right now, especially with the goals that we have as a company. We've got to be willing to be humble and to learn and to grow with this company and be a part of that. Okay. So that was huge. I love that he shared that. And then the last thing was events. So I want to close this call with just not a request, guys. This is a plea for you to become a part of our events. I get so energized. I mean, I have a 10 belief in the company, a 10 belief in the products, a 10 belief in my ability to do this, a 10 belief in the compensation plan. Like, guys, I'm bulletproof when it comes to Isagenix, and yet I still have to go to events to get recharged, right? I would be dead to the wind, like, if I wasn't going to events and surrounding myself with you guys, so that I have the energy and the excitement and the passion to do what we do. I went to an event last night with Nicole Hammondtree and Sybil Immel, and it was beautiful. And I left that event so fired up and ready to change lives. And imagine, guys, if you put yourself in a place where you are constantly at events, like you went to every big event, you went to every small event, you went to every Zoom call, like, imagine what would happen to you personally and to your team if you could plug them all into that. You would be fired up, you would be driven, you'd be focused, you'd be one as a team, and you would reach your goals. I promise you that. So please keep showing up, keep plugging in, and make sure that you invite this beautiful team behind you. Even if it's 1 or 2 people, invite them. help them see the importance of being a part of this. And I promise it'll change your lives. So there we go, guys. I absolutely love you guys. I believe in you. I believe in this company. I need you guys to really commit to helping us create, you know, the largest health and wellness company in the world. You know, we will double our numbers in the next 5 years. 100%. I can't see that not happening if we all come together and do this. You guys are amazing. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you guys join us next week. We have an incredible trainer next week. It's going to be beautiful, and it's going to be so worth your time. You guys have a fabulous night. All right, get your NYKO tickets. Get them, get them, get them. Good night.